Psycho killer on a campus targeting the entire student body because they're too dumb to run away. I'm John Renton with the Retro Review. Final Exam for 1981 is currently streaming on Shudder if you want to endure this slop. Yeah, it's one of those slashers in the immediate aftermath of Halloween and Friday the 13th that, admittedly, the latter, Friday the 13th, I guess iconic with some scenes, and I guess iconic as far as starring a franchise, but really with a narrative that was kind of threadbare and a reveal that was certainly a little bit silly, even though it is quite memorable and certainly better than some of the later sequels. Final Exam basically just has to do with a psycho killer on a campus, eventually targeting the student body. Except almost half of this goddamn movie involves clunky dialogue, a really, really thin plot, and some of the worst line reading I have seen in a slasher movie in fucking years. So this was allegedly written and directed by Jimmy Huston, who did Dark Sunday, Death Driver, SIBO, and My Best Friend is a Vampire. You can check out his IMDb page for the full list of his work. This was introducing Cecile Baghdadi. Oh, yes, Baghdadi. Boy, I can't sound any goddamn creepier than that, can I? Or can I? She plays Courtney. I don't know why they were introducing her. I didn't even know she was arriving, nor did I care that she was arriving. Look, I don't expect much when I click on a movie with a killer, the silhouette of a killer in front of a college, and it's something from 1981. I just expect something a little bit fun. This wasn't. This wasn't at all. This was kind of agonizing. After watching Without Warning a bit before this, I decided to give this a shot, thinking this has got to be better. No, not really. And yeah, you don't necessarily need an explanation for why the killer is doing this. They can just be a psycho killer, but you have to give us a reason to care about the characters. Or you can make so many of the characters so goddamn annoying and one note that you can't just wait for them to die. I mean, you could, and sometimes you have to unless you hit the fast forward button, which is tempting to do during Final Exam. So, you have a character named Radish. No, really. I'm not kidding, by the way. He actually has haircut like a goddamn radish. Joel S. Rice, not to be confused with Rice University. You do have Wildman, or Bulldog, played by Ralph Brown, not to be confused with Reb Brown. I think Reb Brown in this actually would have been funnier, even though he was past the college age, and quite a few of these characters look like they were past the college age. You also have Deanna Robbins, who plays Lisa, who is quite lovely, I do want to say. And the killer was Timothy L. Rayner. So, yes, it was like a $374,000 budget, and in 1981 dollars, that's just about $1.3 million in today's money. So, honestly, not much lower than what Halloween costs. I think Halloween cost about $350, $380, thereabouts. That was in 1978, so not much inflation. But Halloween had ingenuity and had good pacing and actual plot and something that you could sink your teeth into. This just took place at a college that seemingly was in need of repair since the 1920s. Like the paint job, all this stuff. My God, was this an actual college? Were people allowed to go there? What parents would send their kids to this college? So yes, at Lanier College, there was been a murder. I don't know why that was so goddamn funny to some of the characters in this, but nevertheless. Lake Lanier apparently is getting up there and murdering people by the fact that it is a very toxic lake with a lot of trash and a lot of bad stuff. Google Lake Lanier. That is Lanier. So nevertheless, the opening would have been kind of funny, except for the fact that it was really badly paced. Like, there's a couple making out, and then the killer slashes through the roof, putting the top up on the car as they're trying to drive away, and the killer pulls the guy out and stabs him like, This is where your $374,000 budget went. By the way, that would have been more frightening if the car was going more than 5 fucking miles an hour. I know they just started driving, but goddamn. So yeah, Radish is the class nerd. You would have thought he would have been the killer, and to be perfectly honest, I think they should have gone that route because it would have been funnier. But in a black van around a college, no one cares if you scream. And we get introduced to these various characters. Courtney is our heroine. Lisa is the town whore. And from there, we just go, we just plot along. There's a character named Janet, Miss Not Jackson if you're nasty. And there's stuff about stealing tests, hazing pledges. It's like if Revenge of the Nerds had a killer in it. The only thing that killed Revenge of the Nerds was the fact they did more than one. But nevertheless, there these characters pop up. This is like if Sleepaway Camp had a lot less of the charm. Like, really, this... like, Sleepaway Camp was able... I fully admit to Sleepaway Camp is schlock. And I do watch it every goddamn Halloween. But goddamn, just coming out 2 years later, it had so much just better charm to it. And stupidity. And the killer reveal was great. It would have honestly been better if one of the students was the killer. I mean, yeah, again, you don't... By the way, the reveal is the killer. It's just a guy doing it. Just because he wants to kill. That's fine. But I think they should have just gone the route with somebody just on the goddamn college campus doing it. There is an attempted, or a prank that mimics a school shooting, which certainly has not aged well, given all the stuff that keeps going on at colleges, high schools, and elementary schools, and nothing is done about it because we have idiots that seemingly think that thoughts and prayers will do shit, and they won't. They won't. That being said, it's a prank, and then the killer does eventually arrive, and just, he doesn't do much of anything. I mean, maybe he kills like 20 people off camera, but we don't care. This is terrible writing. I'm not even saying the actors are terrible, but they can't do any good with this goddamn material. But good grades can't hurt. Neither can good times. It's dynamite. So, Sheriff Quentin, not hunting sharks, oddly enough, except that was Quinn. He's all upset because these students called him out, I guess, from his drinking time or boinking his sister. I mean, given the rural parts that this this film takes place in, I wouldn't be surprised by some of the characters. This is dreadful. The writing is ass, the acting is ass. And they tie Gary to a tree as part of a prank because why the fuck not? They try to make it seem like he had to break into a teacher's place to get an exam for his jock friend so they could pass. Here's the problem, though. It's like 4 p.m. Wouldn't the teacher still be around? I mean, I know people are leaving their stuff, people are leaving if they've already passed their exams and stuff like that, but just, really? Like, really? So anyway, yeah, there's a pledge pin on your uniform. No, there's actually a pledge pin that's given, I believe is it Linda? Is it Linda? I don't actually remember. No, Janet. It's Janet. I actually don't really care about any of these characters. People separate. They do their stuff. There's a bit of a tease of a romance possibly between Radish and Courtney that never goes anywhere. Janet's an idiot. Janet finds Gary after he's been killed, after being tied to the tree with some of the loosest rope that you will ever see. David Carradine would have even been able to get out of this one. But then he's killed. It takes almost 50 minutes for any of the murders to start. Yes, you had that in the beginning, and I understand building it, but when you don't have something, cut about 10 minutes out and just get to the damn killings. But he could have easily gotten free a while ago, and he didn't. And Janet thinks that Gary's over there by this planetarium, greenhouse thing, whatever, and she gets killed because she's idiotic. And then Wildman gets killed for being stupid and tossed into a weight machine, and now the dogs are in the enclosed pool area and the side garage door is open. Radish then runs out and almost gets, to Courtney, but then he gets bashed through her goddamn window, or door rather. I don't know why in the world that made me laugh so goddamn much. It was kind of hilarious. I said Radish had something to do with this, and I think it would have been funny if he had set up some kind of prank. But before Radish actually gets killed, he calls the sheriff after one guy's found in the locker and another guy with huge hair. The guy has huge helmet hair. It's astonishing. He's killed. And yeah, then Lisa decides to, she's sleeping with a professor because why the fuck not? A professor that is trying to channel Donald Sutherland in Invasion of the Body Snatchers for some reason. At least that's what I got from it. And she gets killed after getting naked, so that was at least nice. So it's down to Courtney. Courtney finds everybody dead, except Coach. The coach who arrived earlier, and seems like every hillbilly hick, characteristic rolled into one, but he tries to save with a crossbow. But he misses, and then he runs up the stairs and gets stabbed stupidly with the with the arrow. But then Courtney hits this killer, by the way, who has dispatched multiple people to multiple colleges. Granted, they're all idiots, but he's still done it. There's like this rotted staircase part thing, I guess, where they're doing construction, or because it's in North Carolina, they don't bother keeping up on any of their rural colleges. She hits him with some wood. If she made no contact with him, she would have been hitting him harder. It's actually astonishing. She'd say, and then he falls. His knife had fallen. He falls, and he's seemingly dead. Except, oh no, his knife's there, and he's not dead. And then Courtney manages to get the knife and stab him repeatedly, and just stab him, and this does not look like a knife. And that's it. That's it for final exam. She's out on the steps, and she's all upset. I'm upset I wasted about 80 minutes on final exam, because I thought it'd be fun. It wasn't. So yeah, it's terrible. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.